I'm here with Simon Crawford. What are the pros and cons of teaching?
That's a good question. I'll start with the cons. I don't think there's actually too many, but I'll start with those and then get to the pros. Some of the negatives that people say about teaching, one of the ones I hear a lot from teachers is that teachers aren't paid enough, that compared to other jobs like surgeons or political leaders, you don't get paid enough. One thing to keep in mind is teachers do tend to work less time. They tend to have their summers off and they tend to get long breaks. But that's a criticism. One criticism is that you don't get paid enough. Another criticism that I think is a little bit more legitimate is that you do tend to work long hours. A lot of times the teaching job doesn't just begin at 8 a.m. in the morning and end at 3 p.m. A lot of times you are grading papers or you're writing reports, and that can take time on the evenings and on the weekends. And I think another con of teaching is that it can be quite emotionally draining. If you are connected to your students and if you care about them, you end up investing a lot of yourself into that job. I think there are some jobs where if you're just sitting in a cubicle typing on a computer all day, you're maybe not as emotionally invested. Teachers tend to be emotionally invested, and therefore it can be somewhat of a draining job. So I think those are three cons that I commonly hear about teaching. Some of the pros. I think there's a lot of pros to teaching. I think that you get to make a difference. So you go to a job every day where you get to interact with people, you get to touch lives, and you get to make students' lives better. And each day that goes by, and each week, and each semester, and each year, you get to see students grow and improve and learn new things, and hopefully they're better people when they leave your class than when they came into your class. So you get to go home at the end of the day and feel like you made a difference and that you made someone's life better. You get to interact with people all the time. You get to interact with students. You get to interact with other teachers, other parents. If you like socializing and interacting, that's a huge positive. I think that it's a field that you can grow in. If you like teaching, you can earn increased degrees, you can earn increased responsibilities. There's lots of different jobs within education. You might like being a teacher, and then you might move up to be an assistant principal or a headmaster of a school at some point if you wanted to. There are opportunities for professional development. So those are all huge positives. Again, I mentioned the schedule. If you like having long breaks at the winter and long breaks over the summer, you get those breaks through the education field. And I think in closing, I would say for me as a teacher, the pros completely outweighed the cons. The positives were a big part of it, and I think the number one positive I would go back to is the idea that if you like working with students and you like helping other people succeed, teaching's a great fit. So overall, way more pros than cons. That's my answer.
All right, thank you.
You're very welcome.